Hello, Xanadu Universe, it's me, Morgan, here to fill in for Will on his indefinite injury leave. Casey filled in last week, and I'm here now. We'll be rotating for the foreseeable future. Who knows, maybe he'll be back next week, maybe he won't. We can't tell. But I have got a crap load of DC Comics here, not even counting all the second printings for the already sold out one-shots and number ones. Starting with Batman Detective Comics. This features the continuing adventures of Batman and Batwoman's squad of sidekicks. It's got Robin, spoiler, Cassandra Cain as the orphan, and Clayface, weirdly enough, which I kind of love, actually. That's really cool. They're fighting an army of sort of Arkham Knight-style Bat vigilantes. Over in Action Comics, with number 959, we've got the continuing clash between the new Clark Kent, who's actually the old Clark Kent, but not actually Clark Kent, because there's another new Clark Kent who isn't the new Clark Kent, but that's all very complicated, and we don't even know what's going on with that yet. But the current old Clark Kent is fighting Lex Luthor, who is now calling himself Superman, and also Doomsday is there, and if I mentioned it's confusing, over on the Gotham side of things, once more, we have Nightwing Rebirth number 1. This is leading into the ongoing series by Tim Seeley and Javi Fernandez, this one being drawn by Yannick Paquette, recently off of Wonder Woman Earth 1. This starts with Dick Grayson as just Grayson, and by the end of this, he's back in the old black and blue tights with a new mission to take down the Court of Owls, who have a new leader, it seems. We don't quite see his face this issue, but he makes his entrance in a big way, that's for sure. Next up is Wonder Woman number 2. This is the first part of the Wonder Woman Year 1 storyline, which is alternating with The Lies. This one being drawn by Nicholas Scott and written, as always, by Greg Rucka. And the second issue of The Flash is also out this week, featuring a new speedster, an old friend of Barry Allen's, who last issue was struck by lightning at a serendipitous moment that led to him surviving, being shot by 15 dudes. It was pretty cool, actually. And this also sees quite a few other people falling to the same fate, which makes Barry wonder what exactly the Speed Force has in store for him. And not to be overshadowed by a bunch of newbies, Hal Jordan is back here with Green Lantern, Hal Jordan, and the Green Lantern Corps, Rebirth number 1. Big title, right? This sees Hal sort of dealing with his fate at the end of his last ongoing series, where the gauntlet that he had stolen from the Vault of Oa had sort of started changing him into this being of pure willpower. So he deals with that by sort of forging a new ring out of his own willpower that is also him. It's kind of a weird thing, and on the flip side of that, you've also got Sinestro taking Warworld, which is corrupted with the power of Parallax, to the center of the universe, and doing something very, very troubling there. So we'll see where that goes. And my final DC book here is the first issue of the long-awaited New Superman. This is the first part of Made in China by Jean Luen Yang and Victor Bogdanovic, who was recently on the Arkham Knight series. This sees a guy named Keenan Kang, or Keenan Kong, I think? One of those two, who was sort of an arrogant kid, bullied this other kid, stole his lunch money every day, suddenly finds himself put in the position of a hero after he does a noble deed and it sort of goes viral, and the government's like, hey, people like this guy, we can use him. We can use him. Sort of taking some threads from the Last Days of Superman storyline that Pete Tomasi was doing right before the Rebirth, and the way that he gets his powers is pretty interesting. And also, I really, really can't wait to see where this goes, especially with the last page reveal of who shows up to sort of rein him in. And that is really it this week for DC. Next week, we will have a great many more issues. We've also got the sold-out Titans Rebirth second printing in this week, so stop by and see what's in store.